So you told me to pull my phone out because you wanted to say something to everybody. And now you're yawning. What did you want to say? Wow. You got a lot. That's a lot of information. All right. I see. Naturally, makes sense. Okay. I'm not trying to cut you off. I just wanted to. I just want you to know I'm engaged in the conversation. Is that it? Nothing else? All right, sounds good.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hello there.
Well,
How you
hello. I am good. How are you doing?
Good. You've been missed. Had a good productive day today. How about you?
Yeah, I had a pretty productive day too. Just doing schoolwork and trying to catch up with finals are coming up. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
The end of the semester is almost around the corner and I'm ready for it to be over.
So you guys still haven't finished your finals yet then?
No,
Oh, okay.
they're coming up next week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine was last week.
Oh
So,
boy.
nice. Yep. Got 102 and 103 in all my classes. So
Nice. Good job, man.
gotta love extra credit. So can't complain on that.
Yep.
Yeah. So everybody, welcome. It's great to have you here. First time here. I am Tay. This is Dee. We are Sunset Ranch. This is our Thursday edition. Every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 o'clock Eastern. Part of the Rise of America crew. Awesome bunch of people. Normally we'll have a little bit of a QR code. You can go check us out, everything that we do. Bunch of people on there, different channels, different stuff, talk about everything and anything. Right there in the corner, as you can see it, you can see our beautiful faces on that. Now, if you want to join the community, please feel free. We'd love to. If anything you could do for us, everyone else would say, like and subscribe. No, share it. Let's get us going. Dee, where can we find you? Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, you can find me on X and only X as Cynical Latina. And I just, I like to troll. I like to have fun on there, not take it too seriously. Talk some smack, good stuff.
Awesome. Hell yeah. And then I am Tay. You can find me pretty much on everything as AP2Tay. I'll be on Instagram and X as well. So feel free to reach out to us, talk if you got any questions. We'll be there to help you with it, or inform us about anything that likes to cover, anything like that. That being said, let's just jump right into it.
Let's go.
Yeah. So this is gonna be coming from USA Today. Oh man, I remember writing weekly news articles for history class in middle school for this paper. So let's go. We got Mike Waltz in the Signal chat fiasco, a recap of his involvement. I actually found something out about 35, 45 minutes ago about this, but we'll get into the article right. Yeah. A little over 3 months into his stint as President Donald Trump's national security advisor, Mike Waltz was embroiled in a controversy so widespread it soon had its own nickname, Signalgate. Everyone's gonna call it anything gate. The former congressman from Florida is set to leave his White House post. A source familiar with the situation confirmed to USA Today Joey Garrison on May 1st, amid persistent fallout from a scandal in which he and several other prominent officials used commercial messaging application Signal to discuss highly sensitive details about the planned U.S. military strike in Yemen. With all details around his departure have not yet come to light by Wednesday afternoon, on May 1st, his involvement in Signal chat has been a cloud over his tenure since it first revealed March 24th. What's his involvement in this? Signal group chat was made public after reporter Jeffrey Goldberg was mistakenly added to the conversation. In a March 24th article published by The Atlantic, Goldberg wrote it was Waltz who added him to the chat. Conversations centered on planned U.S. airstrikes on Iran-backed Houthis sites in Yemen March 15th. The texts were exchanged hours before the airstrikes. In one exchange, Waltz was seen screenshots of the chat to respond to news of airstrikes and emojis of the American flag, fire, and a fist. Hell yeah, brother.
Oh my.
Goldberg's reporting of the chat included descriptions of types of weapons to be used, detailed timing strikes, leading Democrats to call discussions, security breaches, and demanded Hegseth and Waltz to resign. So essentially what they're using is, those who don't know, I've recently just learned about Signal kind of with this. It's just encrypted messaging app that's fairly new. I know like a lot of people used to use WhatsApp. The presidents for the longest time would use like BBM just because of encryption on top of that. This is something similar to that from my understanding. Now, this article is stating you're talking about the strikes and the weapons. They definitely, this was definitely been talked about. They've talked about this at press briefings, whether it be the press secretary or Bondi or whenever officials have been asked.
What?
And they were, for them, they're saying, oh, hey, it's not really anything but a nothing burger, kind of how they put it in layman's terms, where, they're not saying so much like the locations or anything like that. As far as, weaponry, everybody knows what we have. Like the world knows pretty much all our weapons except for like the top secret ones, The B-2 bombers are basically just been bombing, like going all the way through. But what I did hear of recent, Tim posted something, and right I was prepping my dinner, and it's basically saying like, oh, hey, one reason he didn't, really get too much into the story is he kind of wanted to let it like ferment and see what happened. Now, what he went on to say, but before they moved on to the next subject, was how a lot of these sites are saying, oh, he was fired or was resigning, but essentially he was just moved to a new position, which I guess would be an upgrade from where he's at.
Oh.
I don't know. It's only like just passing. We'll see how true this is. But it almost seems like what they wanted to do from what this description is. Now this could completely be not real on top of it. But almost seems kind of like what Musk used to do when he would send out the emails when he first went out to send out the emails, but very, very slightly different.
Minuscule changes. Yeah.
Yeah, because when this happened, where he was going to get fired, they've been asking for his resignation, for Waltz asking for his resignation or for something, just like we did when the Biden administration had something similar to this a couple months back. But nothing was aired about it. So it almost seems like they were just trying to like air out and kind of find out who's inside, kind of airing out what dirty laundry might be. So if that's real, who knows? I definitely would like to see. I think the guy is a cool guy. Not gonna fully back. He did Tyrion Lannister thing. Find out the snitches and corrupt ones are. Yes. Uh, good reference on that one. Good reference on that
Yeah.
one. But it's like, maybe it is like what they always say, like, 4D, 5D chess. Maybe it's
Yeah.
just this. We did want some form of, accountability when the other side did it, and likewise, it's going to want to be this way. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Because this has kind of been going around for a while now. Not too long, but just enough.
Yeah, I do feel it was a giant nothing burger. I mean, really and truly, if this is a private chat and somehow a reporter got, inserted into it, yeah, that's a
Mm-hmm.
huge fail. Like, yeah, that's a huge fail. Like, and the
Yeah.
reporter, I understand the free press and all this, but the reporter, seeing that he had sensitive information, or possibly sensitive information, although there was no locations or nothing significant in there to really like tip off the enemy or whatever. There was nothing really in there that was significant, but still that's a huge L. And yeah, somebody should be held accountable for it. Should they get fired? I don't think so, but I just feel like the extended part of it, like Signalgate 2, now that they're saying that another one with was it Hegseth and his wife and this other stuff, like, bro, it's just really reaching. I think the thing that really like gets me is that they're saying, well, there was sensitive information on there, but we still don't know what the context of the messages were. So the
Yeah.
media, and there's people saying that there's sensitive information and war plans and all this stuff, but nothing has been confirmed. And if this was a private text message between his wife and some other like key figures in his life, why would any of them leak any of this information? It makes no damn sense. So it sounds like just a bunch of lies. They're just intentionally trying to get Hegseth fired. And I just the call to action that the left is doing to try to get him fired when there's absolutely like no evidence is just kind of like mind blowing. Like, y'all need to chill out, dude. There's nothing there. Like,
Yeah.
and
And
I feel it's a good thing that they're moving Walt, just because it's gonna get the liberals to shut up. Like, nothing
they'll,
more.
yeah, the liberals will always, like, or at least liberal media, they'll find anything just to get, and they really haven't had much. So if they could take
Yeah.
anything, they're gonna ride it hard. Uh, Sorry if that sounded a little much. Um, but yeah, like, if we can pull up some screenshots of this, of these, there's really nothing on it. Like, even looking at like the screenshot where they're talking about the like his emojis, it's like excellent, good start. Radcliffe says, Mike Waltz, boom, American flag fire. Good job, Pete, and your team. It literally looks like a bro chat. The team and Mel
Yeah.
did a great job as well. Great work to all. Powerful start. If it really was anything, then I would say absolutely. Let's go. Now, if this is a 4D chess, I don't know. Who's to know on this one? I'm sure there's even some more stuff, me searching and whatnot, could be found. They're going to take it and they're going to run with it. They really got nothing
Yeah.
going on.
That
But
and I think that's where the key is. They ain't really got much.
can you imagine
Oh
scrolling a
man, I'd
message
be
on
so happy.
that
And
was
see, but the
funny.
difference is that I wouldn't go run to the media and like put this information on blast. I'd be like, bro, I don't think I'm supposed to be in this chat, but like I got this little bit of inside information that is my secret, and I'm gonna laugh about it constantly to myself, like an inside joke that only I know about, and it's gonna give me great pleasure.
Yeah, but let's say if you were to get like in one of these like group chats, and it wasn't even like, say if it was the last administration, would you really not just take that and run with it?
I feel like I don't know.
No, you would.
That's a great question. That's a great question because yes, I truly hated the last administration, and I think that the problem is that there's a lot of holes in that administration. So I think the fact that the media refused to expose, they just came out and were like, "Oh, oops, we missed Biden declining." He was declining from the moment he took office. You're gonna tell me for the last 4 years you didn't notice him like stumbling around trying to shake people's hands that weren't there, like
I could literally like, oh hey, the
stumbling,
ghost behind him.
going upstairs. He was falling. Dude, like
I
you
was
ought to
sad.
miss it. You guys ignored the fuck out of it. Like you guys chose to ignore it, and you guys turned a blind eye to it. So in that case, yes, because I'm like I want to expose these people since the media is refusing to do so. But with Trump, there has been so many advantages, and I'm sure that someone that has TDS is like, no, fuck that guy, whatever. But the benefit that he's doing to us, that's why they're making up that we have buyer's remorse and we're changing our minds when we're not. Like I haven't gotten polled. Have you gotten polled? Nobody that I know has ever gotten polled. So who are they polling? I feel like they're polling their own employees at the news stations. They're polling like just like Democrat strongholds that they're all fucking Trump haters. They're not they're not polling middle America, getting a real
No,
idea
absolutely
of
not.
how people feel. No, it's just a bunch of BS. So um yeah, I mean, they're gonna be unfair to him because they hate him and they're gonna print stuff just because they hate him. So
Yeah. You
can
know,
I
it's funny
blame
that
them? I still blame them. Fuck them.
yeah, fuck you guys.
Fuck
You know,
you
it's funny
guys.
that you're saying like the buyer's remorse. I've had this heated conversation like 2 weeks ago about that. And then I was like, well, you know what? Like it's like, well, they even said, I'm like, who's saying that? He's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
they're saying. I'm like, okay. So I pulled up this like a video from CNN that they were even saying like it's like 1% uh compared to there's like 1% of them, which is like negligible to even it being a statistic. So it's like it's not even a thing when you the grand scheme of things. So
Mm-mm.
I said if this really was like a super advanced thing to do that, because you just don't put like just happenstance this guy inside of a group chat like at
Yeah.
all. And then they don't just find out randomly that he was fired. And turns out, I guess we'll be finding out next couple hours if he is.
Yeah.
We're not sure he truly isn't. So maybe it was just like finding out where the mole was at. So if it
Mhm.
is true, like it is, like it's a fuck up. They gotta take responsibility of it. But if they
Yeah.
do end up like given a different position, at least there'll be some note of accountability on that. You'll have like legacy media run with it like it's a win. But then if that's not the case, tends to be like which side is the party of like accountability. If we
Yeah.
did not do that, then we wouldn't be any better than them. And
That's true.
that's not something I think that they could like that this administration would even want to be compared to.
That's very
Better to
true.
lose with dignity than to win with like on a shitty moral value. Not even on that, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But then let's see what else. What do we else got going next? Actually, let's go into the next one.
Let's go.
Hello there, Senator Brian. Is he okay?
He said he was queuing the next one on the sidebar. There you go.
Okay, there we go. So this one I was looking into earlier too. Let's see. It's coming in with let me read it right quick. Where is this coming out of? This is kind of NPR. So take it for as you will. I know that they're not too fond right now of this administration by any means. The Trump administration says it will not pay out $1 billion in federal grants at school districts across the country have been using to hire mental health professionals, including counselors and social workers. The Department of Education is telling impact districts that the Biden administration is, in awarding the grants, violated the letter of purpose of federal civil rights. The grants were part of 2022 bipartisan Safer Communities Act, a bill. No, I don't want them safer. A bill passed in the aftermath in Uvalde, Texas, in which teen gunmen killed 19 elementary school students and 2 adults and injured 17 people. That's still heartbreaking to even talk about.
Yeah.
The bill, among other things, poured federal dollars into schools and addressed rising concerns about student mental health crisis. Those dollars helped Superintendent Derek Flakowitz in Colbert, Oregon, more than triple the number of school mental health professionals in his largely rural district of 1,100 students east of Portland. Before the grants, Flakowitz says his district just had 2 counselors, and we realize that they're not just sustainable for our students, and especially coming out of COVID. So I was looking into this. Let's see what else we got here. Just a little bit more. It says it. Early 2023, thanks to the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the district received federal grants that fully covered the salaries and benefits of 5 new trained social workers. It's been amazing, Flakowitz, of the difference that federal money and the social workers it paid for have made in his school community. Excuse me. He says that he was shocked when he heard Trump administration was putting an end to the federal support. Just Tuesday, U.S. Department of Education employees who oversees their grant had given his district the go-ahead to add telehealth texting service for students. Now later, Flakowitz says he got an email that the grant would be discontinued. Yeah, so essentially what it was is, do I think this is a good move? No, not entirely. I don't think any parent would want to take this kind of stuff away from, any kind of schooling. Anyone just part of the community would not want this. Now, I'm saying they're stopping like the whole, they're just putting a pause on it. I forgot the exact reasoning of it, but in short, it was what the last administration was doing, how they were handing out the grants to where and how much money was being allocated was not the proper way by any means.
Yeah.
They're just, as we, as the past 100 days, we've been noticing, catching up with what the Doge has been catching and seeing, they're just throwing out money. Money. 7 employees, I'm just going to go off and say 7 employees do not cost $1 billion. Telehealth for elementary school, this and that, that's not $1 billion thing. Do I think that the money should be taken away and stopped? No, I do believe that there is a health crisis. What was it? 100% of all the actual school shootings that have been reported since they started, all these people have been on brain pills,
antipsychotics, antidepressants, antipsychotics,
So there's definitely something going on.
Most definitely.
Now I think but then looking at the other side of the coin, it's $1 billion was to save so many kids. Would that be worth it? These kids aren't. So
but if you
no, continue.
Well, if you think about it too, they were saying that they only had 2 school counselors, but in reality, the school counselors is not a psychologist. They can't recommend medications to you. They can't. The school psychologist, most of I have a teenage son. Yes, he's about to graduate high school, but the school psychologists are a joke. They're getting all this funding, and the school psychologists are a joke.
Yeah.
I don't think I just don't think that that's where the benefit is going to lie. So if they what good is for them to give all this money and all this funding for them to get more psychologists and label it as mental health care when they're still going to have a shitty psychologist that's not really going to help them? The kids might not even go, and they're going to sit there and lick up all that money, and again, abuse that money. And I think it needs to be more of a some kind of referral to an actual professional that can help these kids, maybe have an actual doctor on site that's a mental health expert, because a lot of parents too, I mean, and this is a slippery slope, because I'm sure a lot of parents wouldn't want their kids to be medicated without their knowledge, right? So let's say my son went to the school nurse and it was a psychologist, and they put my kid on Prozac or on Ritalin or on some kind of antipsychotic. No, they can't do that now, but let's say they could have the capability in the future. Is that something, wouldn't that be overstepping too? So that's why a lot of parents don't take their kids. You know, the kid can't drive themselves. The parents don't take the kids to a psychologist. I know
Yeah.
a lot of parents that are just like, oh, no, that pseudo stuff is bullshit. You don't need a psychologist. You, like my husband would say, you just need to go to the gym. You know,
I mean, it's
there's
true.
it is
Right.
true, but
Yeah.
this is the argument my husband and I have. Who's actually going to do it? Everybody wants the easy way out. That's why Ozempic got so popular. Regardless of them knowing all the side effects of Ozempic, they're still going to take Ozempic because they're like, oh, it's not going to happen to me. I just want the easy way. I take the shot. I get skinny. Ooh,
But that's just,
you know?
yeah, that's a different. But you
But
touch base on
still,
doing it. You do build confidence and all that stuff, and like it does make your brain
yeah,
work better. But
it
going to what our
does.
producer just had put up, I think this is really great. And it was on X, coming from Christopher F. Rufo. And so the Department of Education has terminated $1 billion in grants that were intended to support school-based mental health programs, but instead were being used to advance left-wing racialism and discrimination. No more slush fund for activists in the guise of mental health. Then, if you're going to the targets are considered ambitious yet reasonable and attainable when considering historical activity and various measures within X benchmarks. Then scooting over to performance measures. No, keep going up there. Go into the one that has the long redacted one, bottom left. Yeah. So then communities of diversity, for example, faculty, staff at X school and other partners and students at flood training programs receive training professional development to enable them to interact effectively with the wide range of young people and families they encounter in the work areas of diversity, equity, and inclusion, institutionalized racism, examination of bias, attitudes, values, beliefs related to race, ethnicity, and other differences, culturally and linguistically responsive. I never seen that word. Pedagogy. I should learn that. And other services. Organizations also hire staff that reflects the ethnic, cultural, linguistic backgrounds of service populations. So now we start to see where the depth of this starts to come from, if this is true. We don't really know where this article or where this is being pulled out of, but say if that is true, like that was one of the things that was said, and like why they accepted was to get these certain things out of schools. Now if they could, now it was a pause. So that being said, if they can get that stuff out of it, but keep the actual genuine things that these kids need, I'm for it, but again, it's not so much, hey, let's do this. Like, hey, let's end it completely. Let's stop it, trim this fat that's obviously not been working. It's definitely pulling everybody apart. Stuff that's just not good. It's like this equity inclusion stuff. These kids have mental disorders. Like truly, they're sick in the head to be able to kill that many people, to be able to hurt themselves or other people. This has nothing to do with any kind of race stuff or anything. It's just completely not working brains. Like their brains ain't brain. So if it's a pause,
the left wants to make it
look at it. Cool, perfect. And I do think they're going to do that because there's no way that they're going to have something that could be this, in my opinion, this potentially useful. Even if one text could save one kid, I'm for it.
Oh yeah. I feel that, of course the left wants to make everything about race and gender and all that stuff, but in truly reality, I think the best thing is to try to make or have services that are actually going to help kids, because the goal is to prevent like these mass casualty events, right? Like
Mhm.
if counseling services could truly be offered to kids that are, it's not just bullshit that a kid gets to just leave class for a while and, oh, we're going to give you a safe space where you could sit there by yourself and we'll just watch you while you get out of class free, you know, that kind of stuff. If they're actually getting like counseling services where the kids and any kind of red flag, the teachers or the counselors actually report it, anything that'll actually help and make a difference, not just them staying on paper and asking for more money, you know.
Yeah.
Services should be the services should actually help the community and help the kids and be the first line of defense in case there are some kids that just are not responding to any kind of treatment. You know, there should be some kind of umbrella program where if the child or the teen or whatever the hell, you know, is getting psychiatric care with a psychiatrist or another doctor, a head doctor, it could be linked with the school so that they can make sure that that child is taking his medication, that's supplied and has access to his medications. So they can keep an eye on him in class too, because these are kids that need more attention, just period. You know, so these schools want funding. They need to use that funding towards what's actually allocated, not to just give the administration raises.
Yeah. And so like even going into this, what I think is kind of like in poor taste in this. It's I kind of like I find it like poor taste is they use this hold inside of like this example on the positive, the $1 billion they were using Uvalde. In the course of an hour after their quote unquote SWAT team or whoever they showed up to the school, it was an hour and 14 minutes that these guys did nothing. So 38 people had been shot. 17 or 19? Fatally shot 19 students, 2 teachers, while injuring 17 others. These are all kids that are under like 10 years old. Undiscriminately. And it was an 18-year-old who walked onto this elementary school. This has nothing to do with anything about inclusion or stuff like this. So yes, the money needs to go into this, but to just use that as a slush fund, there's where this pause is coming from. So I'm for it, but I don't want it to be like a long pause. Like, you know, if we can get stuff done, I'm for it. It needs to be done. You know, this stuff needs to be addressed.
Sure,
like if you're mentally ill, if you're just not mentally competent to where people are seeing it, like I do not believe in red flag laws, but there's something to, and I'm not going to lead into it, but you know, no, none of the stuff that they wanted to fund has to do anything with this. And so to use these poor kids and teachers as examples is just in poor taste, and I find that kind of disgusting.
No, I completely agree. I feel that they should kind of just look into it, fix it, and redistribute the funds that they need for it. And I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to go. They have to see where it's all funneling to, because clearly the services are not being rendered. You know, so they need to see where all this money is going and figure out. I think they're also kind of restructuring how this money is being sent out as well, because before they couldn't track some of those payments. Remember that it was just all coming out of one bank, one account, and it was just checks were being approved. So I think they're trying to figure out how to mitigate that and have more accountability with how this money is being distributed. And so I'm pretty sure that all of these things, because even Trump said, I think, what was it? Just the other day, he said that a lot of these programs he's planning on bringing back. So it wasn't just stuff that I'm going to make all these cuts. He's like, there's a lot of them that I'm planning to bring back. So I think that's just something to keep an eye out for. I don't think that he's going to do anything that's going to be damaging to the country, because that's his legacy, dude. This is his last term. He's got a lot to prove. So I don't think he would do anything that would damage or tarnish his reputation.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on this one. And, you know, always been kind of sticking to his word. I know some people don't like him
Yeah.
because he has a poopy mouth, or just don't
Yeah.
like his ego. But I mean, like, if you have, was it Bill Mayer?
Yeah.
Hung out with him, and he's like the most like anti guy. And he's like, actually, pull like his entire fan club. He's like, he's actually a pretty cool guy, like outside. But that being said, going to cuts and stuff, this one's actually pretty interesting too. This one's going into Montana, and so this one has to deal with libraries being defunded to a certain extent. And so what it is, was it Bosman? Now I want to go in a hot tub.
Yeah.
I'm going down the water slide after this.
Ooh, look at that.
Wait a second, it was just daylight.
That's not here.
Now it's on fire. What is going on?
No, that's okay. Okay, it's an ad. I was like, that's not the video.
So Bosman Hot Springs. Okay, that's cool.
As many folks know, libraries are not just a home for books. They offer so much more, such as a safe place for the community. But with recent federal funding cuts, there's been some uncertainty as to what the future of libraries in Montana could look like. Sorry.
We were just walking after our walk, and we parked over here, and I said, I've never been to the library. She goes, we're going to change that right now. Let's go in.
Jill recently moved back to the Bozeman area, and although she isn't a frequent goer of the Bozeman Public Library, her old college friend Leslie is.
I do order books online and come and pick them up at least monthly.
Both Jill and Leslie tell me they're advocates for public libraries.
It's for everyone. It's for literally everyone in our community can take something and enjoy from the library.
It's an equalizer.
Yeah.
It's like a safe place for people to go. They don't feel judged.
But recently, federal funding cuts have raised concerns for these community spaces and their future here in Montana.
There is some funding that is certainly in question.
For more than 8 years, Janae Johnson has served as the executive director of the Bozeman Library Friends and Foundation. This organization not only raises funds for the Bozeman Public Library, but advocates for the 123 public libraries across Montana. But recently, Janae has been worried.
There's a federal agency, or at least there was until recently, called the Institute of Museum and Library Services,
or IMLS. This agency provides funding for libraries and museums across the country. Last year, the Montana State Library received $1.4 million in IMLS funds.
With that federal money, they provide services that libraries across the state use, such as our shared catalog,
a database where people can search books across Montana, as well as a shared digital media platform, Montana Library to Go, and countless other services. But according to the American Library Association, nearly all IMLS staff has been placed on leave. An estimated 12 staff members remain of their initial 75. With that, IMLS funding has already been cut to Connecticut, California, and Washington State.
And I think the uncertainty just creates a lot of anxiety.
So that last part is kind of where the key comes into this. So I was looking into this. Bozeman, the state, the city, not the communities, the city, like, it's a little smaller than what an entire county would be, depending on what state you live in. But mind you, this is Montana. They have 57,000 people there. I'm sure that's definitely not the only library that they have there by any means. But that being said, you saw that video. It's not a very, all things considered, it's not a very large library. Just a very standard one. I know the one it's down the street from me, I think it's 10 stories tall. It's massive. It looks like something out of out of Arkham. Super cool. 75 people to run that. Awesome. They have flight simulators, they have stuff to do this and community activities, tons of cool stuff you can do. But this here, it's a regular library. 75 people. It doesn't take 75 people to run a library. And again, why these people are very, I'm not pro, taking money away from them. It's kind of what makes society special, is having access to
Yeah.
being able to read, to continue the pursuit of, like, personal education. So, but it doesn't take 75 people to run a small library. Like, these people, like, what do you have 75 people there for? Like, working like one day out of the month, one day out of the week. You still got to pay for their insurance. You still got to do this. Look at any other company, even if it's not government. If they're not gonna. Sure, all of us have worked for places that are like, we're overstaffed, go home early. There's no point to keep people hired or keep people on the clock if you're just sitting there doing nothing.
That is true. I think that's the problem. And of course, they're going to complain because they want the money. Like when you have a federal budget and it's allocated to something, and you use less money than what you plan to, you make a mad dash to spend that rest of the money, because God forbid they don't give you as much money next year or for the next month or whatever. So I think that's kind of like the case. They have all these bullshit positions. It makes the administration's job easier. Like, imagine having it's you and 10 people that run this place. You're going to have a lot of duties. Okay, well, you split that job of 10 people into 75 people. Everybody's got it real easy. Maybe except the
Right.
janitor.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, so say you got 3 janitors, right? Like, you got 3 janitors and you run 4 people. 4 people
Yeah.
per day. So, let's see. Oh, wow, that comes out to 12 people in my head, 12, 13 people.
Yeah.
Right around that ballpark.
Opposed to it being 10 of you, and at the end of the day, the accountants and everybody's got to pitch in to clean the toilets. It just it's a lot. Yeah, I've seen this done in the corporate structure before, where you start off with a lot of responsibilities, and you hire someone else, so you get the new person to do it. Stuff that you don't want to do, you get the new person to do it. We're going to delegate it to the new person. Well, if you got plenty of new people, dude, you just stick them with all the bullshit you don't want to do. Before you know it, you ain't doing much of nothing. I'm the manager, I'm the supervisor. That's how it works. So I don't know. I feel like if they want to stay open, they need to start making cuts, and they needed to do it in a way where they're not going to be leeching so much money, especially if it's money provided by the government. Like, I'm sorry, if you can't make it work without that money, that should be a bonus. That should be a bonus for maybe like outreach to the community, put programs for the kids, do activities for the kids, But if you can't operate without money from the government, then I'm sorry, man, you need to sell them books, and you need to go do something else, because
Yeah, well, it's not even that. If you, like, was it 75 people? That's 10 people working one day out of the week.
yeah, that's why they're
Like,
spreading it thin.
10 people a day, once a week. And then even on Sundays, I don't know, like, what, I know it's kind of different everywhere else, but I was just looking, like, over in Daytona, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays. Like, you don't need 10 people working that shift.
No, not one
Like,
bit.
on a town that's 57,000 people. I mean, it's a town. That's a small. I mean, that's a city.
Yeah.
It's not a town, but it's pretty big. Not all those people. That's not their. It's not their recreation.
No.
Not by any means. Like, unfortunately, like, everyone, libraries aren't as popular now. Like, it's not like people are returning like 2,000 books a day. Like,
No.
sorry, could be wrong. Shit, someone find out for me. But they're like just complaining.
Yeah.
They have a right to complain, but they're not really doing anything. GG says, I went to a library once.
Oh my. I mean, like I said, if they cannot operate without government funds, then they need to work something out.
Yeah.
Because they're not sustainable. If they're not sustainable without government funds, then they need to find something else to do, because it's just not going to work out. And it ain't anybody else's fault.
It's sustainable. That's the thing. Like, it's just, you don't need that many people.
Yeah. Well, but they don't want to cut people. They want to have the exact same privileges with the benefits and everything, and they just want money. They want, that taxpayer money, no accountability. Oh, well.
Yeah, and obviously there's going to be some other libraries that are going to be in this. I think it was like, I forgot how many, but it's going across the state. But just imagine if they're just over hiring, that's just bad management.
Yeah.
That's just poor management. And like you're saying,
just imagine telling them like, bruh, I'll just go over to this library that's like so much bigger than yours, and I can always find all the books I want. Bye.
They'll be fine. But it is what it is. Thankfully they're not closing them down. I'd be very against that. But
yeah,
I'm gonna go through. I love libraries, but the biggest draw is people using the computers. Yeah, the thing about it too is I've never seen a library. Maybe it's because I live in a city, but I've never seen a library that just really isn't just a center hub for like vagrants to stay out of the heat.
Oh, our library is not like that. Our library is our big library is 3 stories. Even in our small town, it's very, very, very beautiful. There's a restaurant in it. They rent out the very topmost floor, like the rooftop, and they do like events up there. The library is very, very beautiful. The bottom floor is all the children's books. And it's got little cubby holes in the walls where the kids could like sit in there and read their little books. It's really, really cute. The library is actually really, really cute. I love going there.
This one here, Brian, if you could pull it up, type in Downtown Orlando Library. You guys have to see this library. It's cool.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
And it has like basement levels and everything. But
damn it,
this place is full all the time. But this isn't a central hub of like a super heavy populated city. But they have to stick with what they're being sent for money and like not overhiring, but they also got to keep like police officers and stuff in there.
Oh, I bet.
All right, well, I guess it's not coming up, but let's talk into some fun stuff. Wiener Fests.
It's time.
Time for the wieners.
Those are the best kind of wieners.
Wonderland. Hundreds of little wieners chase record in Hungary.
Why does that sound so bad? Like hungry and wieners.
I figured you were going to say something on that.
Oh,
Throngs
no.
of Dutch hounds strut their stubby stuff. The chode wieners.
They're so cute.
In Hungary on Thursday as they tried to fetch a record for the country's biggest ever single breed dog walk. Hundreds of dogs and their owners gathered in Budapest City Park and walked in a long, noisy loop in the spring sun. The parade of pups was under the observation of the Hungarian Records Association, which was tasked with determining whether the canine cavalcade could be officially entered into the record books. Esteban Sebastian, registrar and president of the association, said his organization would carefully tally the number of participant dogs. Challenge, he said, when so many hounds and humans were gathered in one place. We don't usually take Dutch hounds on walks in droves, so this experiment has to correspond with our system of rules. Did they say how many? So while some counts from Regensburg put the number of wieners at 1,175, Guinness World Records could only confirm. Oh, this is in 72. 800. It doesn't say how many wieners they had. No, but that's cool though. Like,
I wonder if all the dogs got along.
I'm sure they did. Dutch hounds are they're cute dogs. I mean, if you go into their house, they're territorial, but they got so much personality. They're so dorky. Costco has $1.50 meal on wieners. Damn it, I was just there today too. I was. That's cute though.
I feel like I missed the wiener.
I got a bunch of peanut butter though, and orange juice.
That's pretty good.
Oh hell yeah! So that's cute though. You know, they're able to do that. Figure we get something nice and lighthearted going. Sometimes
Right. I don't have a Costco. I have a Sam's Club.
What do we got? We got Costco,
I
Sam's.
have all of them. I think over here, Sam's Club, I think it's $1.55 for a hot dog and a drink. And I think a piece of pizza is like $2.
Yeah, it's something like that. I mean, it's a great
Yeah.
deal. Like,
Yeah, I think it's the same thing
for
across
the value, for what you get for the value grade, like, are they actually like good hot dogs? As a hot dog connoisseur,
I don't know. The Costco ones were the Hebrew National Wieners. Those were good. The ones from Sam's Club are just regular hot dogs, like
a boiled whatever one. Yeah, I'm not a.
Yeah, but the ones from Costco were definitely like they were way better quality. Those were like that was good shit. The wieners.
I think I'm gonna make some glizzies. But you ready for the best part of the night?
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty, it is that time for Caption This.
Boom.
I like this one. So I know a lot of you guys know what this is. For you who do not know what this is, we close up all the shows. The AI generated random photo. Come up with the weirdest, funniest, raunchiest, whatever kind of caption for it. And eventually we'll pull and take a round of all the funny stuff before the end of the year every couple months, and we'll put them on a shirt. And then we have a bunch of stuff going on with it too as well that a lot of our guys were either sent or ended up going to our merch store and got. So feel free, jump in. I know there's quite a few of you on here right now. Let's see what you guys got.
Oh wow, Aaron. Oh my god, no. This, I don't know why when I saw it, it reminded me of the Tiger King. And I don't know why. It just looks like, I don't know, this looks like some Joe Exotic kind of shit. Like someone on his show would be wearing this, or also be turning into some kind of man werewolf. Like that's his next husband. There you go. That's going to be mine. That's Joe Exotic's next husband.
I wish he could become free because he's just so entertaining, but
yeah,
I know he's never going to. You know, he still try to get someone killed, but he's just so damn fucking entertaining. All right, let's see. Let me see if I could come up with anything.
Yeah, Joe Exotic, like I feel bad for him because he did get caught up and he really believed and he made like after watching that documentary during COVID, we all thought fucking Carol Baskin like went and like stuck her husband to that meat grinder and fed it to the damn lion.
Yeah, and then it turns out what the husband like eventually he did get discovered like fairly recently ago.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, no, I've just been chilling.
He disappeared. He just needed to get away from fucking Carol Baskin. And we were all comparing Hillary Clinton to Carol Baskin. Oh, they kind of look alike. Oh my goodness. But it really was. But either ways, what he did was wrong. Should he be rotting in prison though? Like compared to like, I don't know, like all the BS that like the politicians have done and Black Lives Matter. Like a lot of those dudes just got released from prison and they didn't even get taken to jail. I don't know. Should he be released from prison? I just don't know.
No, like, he shouldn't. He tried to get someone murdered.
Yeah, no, he did. He did try to assassinate her, but like I have a hard time with that one.
On the entertainment, absolutely. Some of the best value entertainment. Like it literally brought a country together.
Yeah, and well, the thing is like that one husband that he had that committed like, he yeeted himself. Um, that was pretty damn sad. Like, I just don't think that that kid was gay and he ended up getting in drugs. I don't know. Like, I just think like he woke up one day and he's like, oh shit, I'm married and I've been like bending over and I'm hooked on drugs. Like, I don't know. But
But
anyways,
yeah, that was the epitome of the most entertaining white trash I've ever seen. I loved it.
yeah, it really was. Did you watch the one with the chimpanzee lady?
The lady that got her face ripped off in like the 90s.
No.
or
They
2000s.
they 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 talked about that during that documentary. It's a lot shorter, but it's like it's kind of like a Tiger King, but definitely not as long and it's not as bombastic. You're just the whole time you're watching this, you're just like, man, this lady's a retard. Um she basically was keeping like a chimpanzee sanctuary that she bought off this other lady that couldn't take care of it anymore. And there was one famous chimpanzee that had been in a movie a long time ago. And when he was little, I guess when chimpanzees are like 5 years old, that's when they're little and they're cute. But they grow up and they're almost like a gorilla. They grow in
Oh no,
captivity
they're
to over
outrageously
250
strong.
pounds.
Like, they have, oh yeah, no, they're like two something, and their
Yeah.
strength is like exponentially stronger than humans. So
Yes.
but
See, when they're not in captivity, they don't grow that big. But in captivity, they keep them in cages. They don't get the exercise that they do, so they get fat. And this lady was fucking feeding this chimpanzee McDonald's and shit, ice cream, donuts. And then so she started saying that he was really sick. He was gonna die, that he had congestive heart failure. And a judge ordered that all the chimpanzees be taken away from her. But she hid that one and she managed to run off with it. A big ass chimpanzee. She hid it for a really, really long time. She tried to convince the I don't know if it was a court guy or who it was that the chimpanzee had died and she had cremated it and all this stuff. But in reality, she had hid it away and she got caught. They put the chimpanzee in a sanctuary. He was never dying. He was just too fat because she was feeding him fucking McDonald's. So
Yeah.
now he's in a sanctuary. The chimpanzee's name was Tonka. Oh, what was that show called? Let's see. Yeah, but they did discuss the case where the chimp ripped off that lady's face. It just like mauled her face and her hands and everything.
oh, he ripped her apart like bare hands. Like those things are.
Yeah,
The thing
there's been
about them, as they
multiple.
get older, I forget the name of it, but you know how like you can't like people can own wolves, like true wolves, but there's like a thing where like they become combative, like they like become territorial, like they want to do their own stuff, or they're just very sporadic. Tim
Yeah.
Wolf finally tries Rogan.
Oh, damn.
That's essentially what happens. That's why there's I guess a baby it's fine, but as they get into that rebellious, like fighting, like coming to of age,
Yeah.
that's when like the dangerous part starts to happen.
Well, there's a breeder. We had found out about this breeder, and I was looking through the website, and there's different percentages of wolf that you can get. Of course, it's bred with another, right? But I think the highest grade you could get was like a 75 or 80% mix. But this person will not sell you a pup or a wolf dog unless you have specific parameters. So you can't own any other pets. You can't have children. You have to have a really high fence that's reinforced. Like he physically has to go inspect your home before you can get one of these dogs.
I believe that.
It's like a lifetime commitment because he warns you. He's all like, hey, if you allow any other pet near this dog, and this dog kills this wolf dog kills your pet or some friend's pet, it's your fault. It's not the animal's fault. You cannot put the animal to death because it's your fault. Like, this is a creature that has wild DNA.
Feral.
That,
to an extent.
yeah, feral. That there's a possibility that this dog will like hate you and want to try to eat you, and you need to be able to accommodate it. You need to make sure that this dog is never going to be able to run away, because if it runs away, it's going to fuck someone up, you know? Like, there's
it's a fucking wolf. It's an apex predator, yeah. And then I heard something else. What is it? They like if you want to be like,
uh-oh, you cut out.
you can't own a male dog. I know you don't want to, or if you're a dude or just a person or a chick, and if you're not physically capable or dominant, you can't have one either, because at certain points, you know, there always has to be the overthrow of who's like the pack leader, which does happen. So that thing will just maul you apart, you know.
Yeah.
Or if you don't, like, if you're not like rich and you just are retired at a young age, like, you can't have a job where like you come home and come back. Like, you just have to be with it 24/7. Too much of liability. I mean, I'm sure there's more stuff to it. It's not like something I've ever was ever like interested in doing. But anyway, let's who do you think is going to get this one?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with Ohio Man. There you go. That's definitely an Ohio man.
I don't think I ever met anyone from Ohio, so I'll just agree.
Okay. Well, there we go. Ohio man is the winner. Boom. Good job, Aaron.
Sweet. So yeah, you know, let's close this bad boy out. Let's shut this puppy mill down. So, you got any final thoughts about anything going on with this?
Not really. Just as always, we just gotta wait and see, and yeah, just stay hopeful. I'm sure everything is gonna turn out well. You know, Trump's on it. I have some faith.
I'm quite interested to see what the what this is gonna happen with the signal thing. You know, because knowing it's too specific of one person and too specific of one thing to happen for something like this. You know, like, there's hundreds of millions of people in the States, you know, hundreds of millions of like cell phone numbers. You know, it's just too specific of a thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. See how that goes. But yeah. Guys, yeah, let's close this bad boy down. You know, again, if you were here for the first time, thank you. If you're here every Tuesday and Thursday, also thank you. You know, we love to have you here. You know, definitely you know, share us with your friends, spread the good word about this. If you ever want to talk or reach out to us, you know, got on my screen, it's right there. I don't know if it's in that one, but it's in one of the corners here. QR code. You know, come hang out with us, talk with us. You know, if you want to learn something, keep this stuff. You know, see what we can do. What else? We will be back on Tuesday. You know, it's every Tuesday and Thursday at 9. Dee, got any other closeouts where we can find you, anything like that for anyone who joined late?
Well, you can find me on X as Cynical Latina, and I am always checking in.
Perfect. And same thing for me, AP2 Tay. We will see you guys next Tuesday. Remember, if you're too drunk to walk, just take an Uber home. So have a safe weekend, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.